What up, though, Pride Nation, and welcome back to Luke G's Field Review. We are back at it again with another debate, this time with fellow YouTuber Dose of Dion. What up, though, Dion?
What's up, Luke G?
Man, listen, we have been trying to get this thing set up for a while. We were finally able to do it. I'm excited to do this because I know that the subscribers wanted to see it, and it's something that, if you ask, you shall receive, you know? So, as
Yep.
always, people, we like to try to do the house mail and shout out the people who are in the chat. And as they rolling in, I try to get through and do that. If I'm a little slow with that, please forgive me. Okay. So right now we have Joey LaVake. I hope I said that right. Risky, Jeffrey Cameron, Bug Spray, Lions Fan 75, D Town, Jason Long, the first black man on the net, D Town, Trigger Easy, MicroMike. Let me see, man. There's so many in here. I got to keep it going. All right. What up, though, people, and welcome to the show. We're going to have ourselves a whole lot of fun, fellas, and let's get into it, man. So, look, Dion, you got to be one of our youngest YouTubers in the game, man. So this is going to be something to kind of show the people, like, hey, man, age ain't got nothing to do with knowing the sport. You feel me?
Yeah, I feel you.
So let me ask you this, man. We're gonna get this thing cracking. Let's start off with the first question, man. The first question I want to talk to you about in turn, or the first topic I should say, is who do you? We're talking about the draft, obviously. Who do you want them to take in the draft?
Well, my favorite prospect is a guy in Josh Allen who I really don't think will be there at number 8.
Okay.
So honestly, the thing that I really want them to do is trade back, acquire some more picks because this is a very deep draft. I mean, there are guys in the second and third round that could be day one starters. So I'm thinking you trade back and you get a guy later in the first round. I like guys like Noah Fant, tight end like that. And then in the second round or third round where you add picks, that's where you can get some of those big needs like offensive linemen.
Okay. Now let me ask you this: have you heard that the Green Bay Packers, the Chicago Bears, the Cincinnati Bengals, the I'm trying to think of all these other teams. It's quite a few teams that want Noah Fant and that want a tight end. What do you say to people when they say, hey, all these teams that want a tight end, how far do you think we can trade down and get a tight end?
I mean, I guess it depends what they're looking for, but really the top tight ends, you can't go much later than the teens. If you get to the 20s, you're pretty much passing on the best tight ends like Hawkinson and guys like that.
Okay. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we are on with fellow YouTuber Dose of Dion, just talking about our Detroit Lions. Again, his YouTube channel is linked in my description, as well as my other Detroit Lions members, Derrick P. Fields, aka the Gridiron Blitz. And Noble Sports Entertainment with TA. We got MicroMike and 313 J Mode. They are all linked in my description. Please check it out. We are going to still do we are going to still do the roundtable at 8 p.m. Just giving y'all FYI again, we are on with Dose of Dion. I mean, so for you, you say that your first choice is Josh Allen. Why?
I believe he is the best edge rusher in the draft, and I think if you pair Josh Allen with a guy like Trey Flowers, I just feel that ability to get pressure would be crazy. But I don't think the Lions would want to trade up and give up any kind of picks for that. And I really don't believe he'll fall to number 8.
Okay, so to the people like me who believe that the Lions are going to trade down. Period. I think they're going to trade down. Let me ask you this: who do you think they're going to take?
I do believe they will trade down, and
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions went offensive lineman very early. I think it's something that, they really believe in the trenches. So I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a guy like Chris Lindstorm, that type of player go maybe late first round or in a second round pick, and then first round, second round tight end, someone to pair with Jesse James.
Now, for me personally, I personally want them to take TJ Hawkinson if they stuck at 8. But my first opinion has always been for them to trade down. I think it's the New England Patriot way. I think that's what they was doing, but I don't want it. I don't want it to necessarily be a New England way. I want it to kind of be a Lions way. We got too many holes to fill, and I have seen quite a few different people who don't believe that Bob Quinn wants to trade down. I've heard that some people think that he might want to trade up. What do you say to those people who think that Bob Quinn might want to trade up?
I don't think that's how Bob Quinn looks at it. I want it to be the Lions way too, but definitely we kind of do stuff similar to how the Patriots used to do it. And I don't think trading up and losing picks later on really makes sense. And I don't know if there's a guy that trading up they absolutely love. So I think if you trade up that early, you really have to love the guy that you're going to take. And I don't know if there's anybody like that that's going to go that soon.
Now, I know that we're talking about the draft, and I know that a lot of people are going to probably say that either one, you're crazy, or two, I'm crazy. Either way, we're going to both be crazy by the end of this show. But I just wanted to point out to people that I really think that in terms of what the Lions are doing, acquiring more picks makes more sense. To me, the idea that he's going to trade up just does not make sense. And I, I'm gonna be able to talk about it now and when we get on the round table, because it just doesn't make sense, at least for me. Now, let me ask you this. The Lions have pretty much did some crazy things this offseason. They went out, they signed Trey Flowers, they brought in Jesse James, they brought in Justin Coleman, CJ Anderson, Danny Amendola. For those people who say that, the trade down and pick up a offensive lineman, do you think if they trade down that the only position that they're looking at is offensive lineman?
No, I definitely think they'll be looking at a tight end. You could definitely throw in an outside linebacker because we lost a guy like Eli Harold. Maybe even another wide receiver, add some depth. I could see a backup quarterback. I don't know how they feel about Connor Cook. I think there's multiple positions, and I think Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia really like to have depth at a lot of positions.
Yeah, see, I think that's the thing. To me, I keep going back to what Bob Quinn said in terms that, he wants players to have 5 characteristics to make it on his team. And when you go back, even when you look at the players that New England pick up, it looks like those 5 players are consistent. Now, I'm seeing that Lions fan 75 is saying, I heard they like Crosby. So for the people who are saying, well, what about Terrell Crosby? I'm hearing that they like Crosby to play that right guard position. What say you?
I like Terrell Crosby, but I don't have 100% belief in him, and I think maybe that shows a little bit because the Lions brought in that offensive lineman. I think it's Oday Abushi. I believe that's how you say it.
Right.
So I don't know how much they're sold on Terrell Crosby, and I don't know. I think they just put so much importance into the trenches, and you're trying to protect a guy like Matthew Stafford and really build that running game. I think it's really important to go get an offensive lineman, someone that you can really just place there without, any worry.
Now, see, here's the thing. I think Obushi is a camp body, or a backup at best. I don't think he's somebody who's going to be as a starter. He was here before, and then they tried him, and then they released him, and he went on to do whatever. But I don't think that he's going to make it in terms of being a starter. I think as as Ramon the New Age said, he's a depth guy. Now, his thing, in terms of it, the Lions, what do you think about what the Lions have done so far in free agency?
I mean, I've really loved everything so far in free agency. I think they filled a lot of needs, maybe not with like the best players, but they filled so many needs that it really opens up their options through the draft, especially if they trade back. They can definitely go look for some playmakers, which Bob Quinn is definitely going to be looking for. And I think they brought in some expatriates that are really going to help with that, Matt Patricia, what he's trying to build in Detroit.
Okay. Yeah. And George Morgan, yeah, we did start a little bit early. We was having some technical difficulties. So once we got everything figured out, we was like, let's go ahead and knock this thing out. so it was more of a thing of chance. Again, to those who are just coming in, we are talking to fellow YouTuber DoseOfDion, and again, Jeffrey Cameron, Sweden 88, George Morgan, Risky, Lions fan 75, Ramon the New Age, General G Berry, what up doing? Welcome to the show, people. And my DSA member, the Gridiron Blitz, aka Derrick P. Fields, what up, though? Listen, so what is your favorite signing thus far in free agency that the Lions have made?
Okay, now this one isn't like the biggest name, but it's actually Rashawn Melvin. I really like the signing of Rashawn Melvin. I think it adds a lot of depth to that cornerback position, and it may even open up to the point where the Lions, biggest need, they don't have to go get a cornerback in the first round. I don't know how much of a role he's going to play, but the $3.5 million deal, I think they got a really good deal there with Rashawn Melvin.
Now, see, here's the thing. I got somebody who's in the chat. Detroit's own Big Will. What up, though? He and I had a nice conversation off the air where we were talking about Rashawn Melvin. He is totally on the belief that Rashawn Melvin is going to be our number 2 cornerback. Now, I am under the belief that he's a camp body, and my reason for it is because when I look at the contract to cut him, it doesn't set them back. You know what I mean? If he had got more of a contract that was more loaded, like how Danny Amendola's contract was, I'd be like, yep, he's going to be on the team. But when I looked at his contract, they had an out on it. So he's in total agreement with you on Rashawn Melvin. My favorite free agent signing, and I know it's not going to be, it's Jesse James. The fact that you brought in a big body tight end who can block, and I still think they're going to add another blocking tight end. That tells me that they're going to shore up and get ready for the run. What do you see in terms of the signings that points to the direction the Lions is going?
The Lions are, they're definitely adding a lot. I think they're adding some expatriates trying to get that going. But I think they're adding, like, offensively, CJ Anderson, a power back. I think that kind of replaces, the Garrett Blount of last season. I think they're trying to become more of a physical team overall. I think their tackling has definitely improved overall. They're playing more of a time possession, control the clock type of game, where in the past it was kind of just air it out and try to score a lot more points.
So for you think that they're going to try to be more of a balanced team? That's what you feel?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, see, I get the feeling that that Matt Patricia came in and he said, what did we do good in New England? And what did the Lions do good when they were most successful? And the answer is kept coming back to, we ran the ball. And I think he understood the importance of it. So I see some new people here I've never seen. Richard Adams, what up, though? Welcome to the show. Greedy, the amazing. He said he brings pressure that makes cornerbacks proud. Yeah, I can see that. Pro bowlers, yeah. Now, let me ask you this. Because I promise you, when I open the phone lines up, you're gonna get some interesting questions. What about the people who say we got to take a linebacker in the first round? Like, if we trade down, who do you see us trading down with? And what are your thoughts in terms of who's the top linebacker in this draft for you?
The top. It's hard for me for linebacker because really I think the top linebackers that will go in the first round aren't necessarily outside linebackers. Like, Devin White's more of a middle linebacker, kind of similar to Jared Davis, and that's not who I'd want to bring in. Devin Bush is a little bit small of a linebacker.
Right.
And if the Detroit Lions were looking to trade back, I think there's a few teams like the Dolphins who would be looking for a quarterback. The Raiders may be looking for a quarterback. And I've seen, the Falcons and Panthers who are both looking for maybe that edge rusher, maybe an Ed Oliver type of guy.
Yeah, see, now let me see. We got some more new names here. Sports World, what up, though? Welcome to the show. Andrew Ism. It says, what about Montez Sweat? Now, see, don't get me started on Montez Sweat, but because I've never seen your name before, I'm not going to do it. Here's my thoughts on Montez Sweat. If you can tell me the game that he had where you said, wow, this guy is jumping off the screen, please tell me, because I'm having a hard time locating it. And one of the issues I have with him is he does not use a lot of pass rush moves, in my opinion. But Dion, here's the thing. For me, if they trade down, and I've thought long and hard about this, I've always said that if they trade down, everything is on the table. But the more that I look at it, and based on who we've already visited with, because I've been dropping these videos about who we visit with thus far, I feel like that pick, if they trade down, depending on how far they go down, I don't think it's going to be an offensive line. I think it's going to be a safety.
Oh, okay.
And the reason I say that is because when you look up at our current safety, yeah, we got Tracy Walker, yeah, we got Quadrin Diggs, but they like to play this, you don't know where he's at game, and and that's why they like those versatile players. And I can see us taking a safety in that first round late, or still taking that linebacker. But for me, I agree. I think Devin White is still a little bit raw. He needs to work on some of his tackling skills. And Devin Bush, I just think it's short. I just think he's too short to really get it going. Now, George Morgan says we taking the kill Harry or Irv Smith Jr. At pick 20 if we trade down. What say you to the person who says we're taking a wide receiver in the first round?
Yeah, I don't know about that. And the only reason I don't is because you look at our top 2 wide receivers and Marvin Jones and Kenny Galladay. Those are bigger type of wide receivers and not necessarily like a slot position. And with the Lions bringing in a guy like Danny Amendola, I don't really see them making that big of a need to go draft a wide receiver. I almost think you could get a better playmaker at the tight end position, a guy like Irv Smith.
Yeah, see, I don't see the wide receiver in the first round either. And to me, taking the wide receiver in the first round tells me that the Lions are looking at that as a luxury pick. I mean, when I look at our receiving core, you say Marvin Jones, Kenny Galladay, and Danny Amendola. I mean, that sounds pretty good to me. That sounds pretty good to me. So I don't see them going that route. But if they traded down and got Irv Smith, I wouldn't be upset about it. I would certainly like to have the guy who can block, but Irv Smith do bring a certain type of style to his game, and it just depends on what's going on. Now, one of the things that I want to try to crank it up is I want to open up the phone lines, and the reason I want to do that is so people can do 2 things. 1, be able to talk to you. That's the first thing, and 2, ask you some questions and stuff because I know that they probably don't get the opportunity because you drop them videos, man, like they cough drop, so they don't have a lot of time. So what I'm going to do is at this moment, I'm going to open up the phone lines. That phone line is 248-294-0610. That's 248-294-0610. Hey, we got the Ghost of Judas Tribe in the building. I appreciate you coming on, man. Any energy and comments you bring to my channel, you will find that I will welcome it, whether they are negative or not. If you want to come in and do that, people, please do not respond to him because that's the kind of energy he wants. And in my opinion, you don't want to give people energy that they don't need. So when he says crazy things, just tell him thank you, and hopefully he'll get the picture that we're not fazed by his approach. But I do appreciate him coming in here. That's a view for me. So thanks. Again, that phone number is 248-294-0610. All right, we got our first call. Welcome to Luke G's Field Review. What up, though? Who this?
What up, though? It's MicroMike.
What's going on, man?
Hey, nothing, man. Hey, I just want to say welcome to One Pride there, DoseOfDion.
Yes,
you got some good content, man. I absolutely love the fact that you decided to go on Luke G's Field Review and talk to everybody, man.
Absolutely, man. Hey, and again, we got Mr. MicroMike on himself. He went live earlier today. Please go and subscribe to Mr. MicroMike. His channel is linked in my description. And he puts out some very good good content, and I'm telling you, man, he gets into it. He's still a little early in the process, but trust me, it's well worth it. So that's what I'm talking about. What up, though, James Holyfield? Appreciate it. All right, Mike, man, we'll catch up with you. My phone is blowing up right now, so I'm trying to get as many in as possible.
All right, man. Hey, have a good one, man. Great show going on so far. Welcome to One Pride there, DoseOfDion, and have yourself a good night.
Man, appreciate it, man. You too.
You.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's cool, man, because like I said, man, people liking what you're doing over there, man. And your videos are much shorter than mine, but I try to be a little bit more detailer. I try to have more details in my videos, so they tend to be longer. But it is what it is, and I can't knock the hustle. So it's just one of them things. Now let me ask you, all right, what made you decide to start talking Detroit Lions football?
Oh, man. Well, when I was like a lot younger, I'd say like 11, I was like messing around with YouTube and stuff. And then I went away from it. But I've always had that thought, like, that'd be so cool to do YouTube. And I was really trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to talk about? And the one thing that I'm always locked into, always reading news about is the Detroit Lions. I love talking about it with people that don't even like the Lions. And So I was like, I got to just start a YouTube channel and see what happens. And, it just grew from there. And all the great like comments and stuff, it just keeps you going. It makes you want to post more videos.
I hear that, man. It's funny because I was doing like kind of a review. I was looking at the different teams in our division. Is there any one team in the division that scares you right now?
It's definitely got to be the Bears. The Bears are by far the best team, I think, in the division. The Minnesota Vikings, for some reason, they don't scare me. I don't know. Kirk Cousins just doesn't do it for me. And I think the Packers just have a lot of holes to fill. And I don't know. That just seems kind of like more of a mess over there in Green Bay. But Chicago is definitely the best team with that crazy defense.
See, Chicago doesn't scare me. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason that Chicago does not scare me is because they lost majority of their secondary. Okay, they lost their defensive coordinator, who really was the reason that they were even in the game. I mean, if you go and look at the games that they had, where where they literally just didn't do anything, it makes you look at them in a different light. And then their quarterback is Mitchell Trubisky. Like, right. I don't think there's a Bear fan, that can argue and say, "Oh yeah, Mitch Trubisky the real deal." There's no way that they can say that and be honest about it. And to me, when I see things like that, it makes me say, okay, they're not that big of a threat. And then they turned around and traded Jordan Howard away for a 2026 round pick. Like he was giving us problems, and I'm like, okay, he's gone. And then I'm like, well, who's their tight end? Like this is not a team to be feared no more. And then they cap is all messed up because they set up there and they set up there and decided to why is that doing that? Let me see what that is. All right. Yeah, they cap is all messed up because they set up there and decided to pay, Khalil Mack like he was the second coming of LT. And it's crazy to me. So for me, the team that scares me the most is nobody. When I go through, I look at the Green Bay Packers. They got a new head coach who haven't even met with the quarterback yet, and it's all kind of drama going on over there, whether it's true or not. They having to talk about it. But then I look at what they did. I'm like, okay, they still came in with the same running back with Jones, and I'm like, okay, cool. Receivers, Devontae Adams. Once you get past him, and so to me, no fear there. And then I go over to the Vikings, and it's like, what are y'all doing? I mean, they can't stay healthy. Yeah. So to me, it just makes me look at it in a way that says, why would I fear any of these teams? Like, they're all suffering because they couldn't even get a good contract out. So I look at that, man, and I gotta be honest, I don't even begin to think about it. I mean, even when I go back to last year, right? We played the Bears twice. The first game, Matt Nagy call was horrible, right? But our guy, Matt Patricia, called an even worse game.
Yeah.
And so now what you see is it took for us to have bad coaching for them to get the win. And we was in that game, right? The game on Thanksgiving, the score was 16-16, right?
Yeah.
And we should have won that game. Heck, we had a touchdown at the end of the game, and Kenny Galladay dropped it. Then the next play, the tight end run the wrong route. I mean, it's just one of the things that I look at. And when I go through and I say, okay, we coming into this year, who like outside of Khalil Mack, who, if you paid attention to him in the playoff, I think he had like 1 or 2 tackles because they figured out how to slow him down and shut him out. Who outside of Khalil Mack, are you really worried about? The secondary is not going to be able to keep up with our receiving core, and we don't add a tight end, going to add another tight end. It's like, come on, man. It's one of them things that I look at, and I said, it's simple. And I think D-Town got it right, where he says better coaching means more wins, and it's that simple. So, what say you in terms of, the people who say, like me, who say, man, I don't fear none of these teams.
Oh, no, I completely understand that. I would say, if I had to pick out those 3 teams, it would definitely be Chicago. But I completely believe that we will win the division next year. I know it's early because the draft hasn't happened or anything like that. But like you said, Mitchell Trubisky, I no one can really count on him. And I don't know. We were definitely in those games, like you said. We were tied. We had the ball. It was just a couple unfortunate things, but we definitely could have beat that team.
Right. And even like right now, like Willie Kennedy Jr., he says, well, what about Stafford's pick six? I mean, defenses make good plays these days. Like I wish I could say they wasn't, but they make good plays. And I chalk that up to poor play calling. And yeah, did Stafford stare the player down? He did. But if you've seen where that safety was at, if you've seen and you go back and look at where that safety was at, I didn't even know Eddie Jackson was that fast to cover that much ground to come up to make that play. I mean, even I would have thought that wouldn't have been a possibility for him. But sure enough, he was fast enough to run up and get it. So, I'm not even shocked in terms of that. It's just that, those little things like that, man, you look at it, even with that pick six, we still had a chance to take the lead. That's the crazy part about it. Mm-hmm. Even with the pick six, we still had a chance to take the lead. And we now got a new offensive coordinator, which means that teams cannot come in and expect to just see us pass no more. I mean, even in the Jets game, and I don't know if you saw the game, Dion, but in that Jets game, did you happen to notice how many times they called play action and not one player ran up to check the run?
Oh yeah,
not one. Yeah. We call a play action and they don't even panic. They don't even panic. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's something that they definitely have to improve on next season. I think that's maybe the biggest thing is they're so predictable. When we would bring in Theo Riddick, you already knew it was a pass. I mean, I don't even remember many times where Theo Riddick ran the ball. It was all so predictable for the Detroit Lions last year, and I think that's something that defense were really able to catch on to. And that's why we struggled so much.
And it's crazy because I'm gonna tell you the truth. When you look at the moves that the Lions have made, and then you look at the moves that everybody else in the division have made, I bet you that the other teams in the division have took notice. I bet you they did. I bet you. I mean, and it's scary. And I'm gonna tell you why it's scary. It's scary because if you just go through and you figure, okay, who in the division got the best chance of giving you the most problems running the ball? It would be the Minnesota Vikings, right? With Devin Cook, right?
Yeah.
Who out here worried about Tyreek Cohen running the ball? Who?
Not really anybody.
I mean, I'm just saying it's one of them things where I look at it and I just say to myself, like, at the end of the day, I don't see no possible way for us to feel threatened by them. In terms of the Green Bay Packers, they're going to do the same thing that the Lions did to Matthew Stafford. And that's make him pass the ball and put it all on his shoulders when it's been proven that you need a run game. Now, Willie Kennedy Jr. says, I got a question for you, Luke. I'm listening, man. I'm always paying attention and trying my best to answer the questions. I'm never shying away from the conversation. You can even call in at 248-294-0610. I did have to clear the lines because for some reason this thing is acting weird. Y'all know this is one of the weakest operating systems I ever used. But yeah, feel free to call in 248-294-0610. Again, we are on with Dose of Dion, fellow YouTuber. Now, the thing that I look at is this. Okay, here's the thing that I look at. The Detroit Lions are coming up on the draft right now. So everybody is tuned into this draft, right? The Detroit Lions have went through all their phases in terms of free agency, right? Now, here's my question for you, all right? With the Detroit Lions getting ready to take this draft in place, what are your thoughts on the Detroit Lions general manager, Bob Quinn?
I really like what Bob Quinn has done in the draft. And the one thing that I think that sticks out is how many hits he's had in later rounds. He's gotten guys like in the third and fourth round, and those players have become really good for the Detroit Lions. Now, obviously, he may have missed on a few people like Teez Tabor. We're not really sure. He still likes Teez. But, like, those later round picks that he's able to hit on is very cool.
Well, see, I think the Teez Tabor is more so financially it doesn't make sense to cut him. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Financially, not when I can try him out at safety. I can try him out at nickel. He's got options. Now, I am not going to act like Teez Tabor is the second coming of anybody, but Teez Tabor to me reminds me of Glover Quinn. And I believe if you put him at safety, you get better production. So that's just me. Now we got ourselves a phone call. Let's see what's coming on.
All right.
What up, though? Welcome to Luke G's Field Review. Who this?
This Elijah.
What's going on, Elijah? What you got for us today, man?
Man, so I was thinking, I feel like if we trade back, which I think we're going to do, we got to pick up a O-line first round. I don't care if it's the second or first. We need an O-line because I don't think our line is good enough for Minnesota's nor Bears defensive line because we got murdered. Ricky Wagner got murdered last year against Hunter and what's the other dude on the other side for the Bears?
Khalil Mack.
The other dude on the other side.
Leonard Floyd.
Floyd. They were getting some pressures. I'm that side looking suspect, so I think we should go O-line. What y'all think about that?
To me, to go O-line, in my opinion, in that first round, if he's not Quentin Nelson or Joe Thomas, I don't see why we're going for him in the first round. And two, I look at it and I say, yeah those guys did wreak havoc on them, but when you get a guy in there like, say, Jesse James, or if they bring in a TJ Hockenson, a tight end that can now chip and help in blocking on those edges, that problem is already neutralized. You know, even when you go and look at the playoffs, go and look at what the Eagles did to Khalil Mack. I think he had one tackle. You know what I mean? He had one tackle, and because they kept using the tight end to give him problems, making his route to the quarterback longer. And then on top of that, they ran the ball directly at him. So now here we are, fast forward to the Detroit Lions. We got Kerryon Johnson and CJ Anderson. Oh, you know we running the ball right at him. You know, it's coming.
Right.
So to me, I don't think we need to force it and take it in the first. I think what we need to do is we need to just sit back because there's some good prospects that you can get in those later rounds, the third and fourth round. Even in the second round, there's some prospects you can take. But to me, you know, if you're taking them in the first, who are you taking?
Well, we said 8, and then Quentin Williams ain't there. Oh, I'm taking TJ because that's just going to boost our offense even more. And then
put it like this. Imagine if we do what you say and we take TJ, right? And now let's say that they want to put Mike Daniels or Griffin or whoever you want to put at the DN spot. If I leave the tight end in the block, how do you get past that? Especially if it's TJ Hockenson. He has no problem getting nasty with you. So the question becomes,
tight end set. Oh, we're Gucci,
right? And that's where we want to be at. That's why for me, taking that lineman in the first round, to me, it seems a bit of a force because, like I said, there's some things about this first round, and I'm going to get into it when we get to the round table because I don't want to use all the material here. But when we get into the round table, it's some things about this first round that I want us as fans to to pay attention to. So I totally get what you're saying in terms of it. Now I see Eric I hope I'm saying this right. Eric Mojat, he says TJ Hockenson would be a reach at 8. But the thing is, I think what Eric is not seeing is who can you take that's going to come in right now, give you an immediate impact, start, and be effective? That's the real question you got to ask at 8.
That's the question, right? I don't see no one else if all our people are gone at that time. I don't see no one else that's going to do that for us.
Here's an even better question. Here's an even better question. If the Jacksonville Jaguars are considering doing it at 7, why is it bad for the Lions to do it at 8?
True.
That's what I'm saying. The same thing.
So to me, I think the lineman is. I think you're right on in terms that we need a lineman. I think they will get a lineman. I really do. I have no doubts that they will get a lineman. I just don't know if it would be, in the first round. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So what else you got for us?
Yeah, I know he's gonna be a playmaker on either side of football, but it's just like I know Bob Quinn is like this year, he's leaving no stones unturned this year. So I feel like he will address the line and he will address the linebackers in the draft. So I don't know worries, wide receiver as well. So
listen, I'm gonna tell you how crazy it is. I've been tracking all the players that they have been going, and I can tell you right now that the schools that they are looking at linemen at, they all have something in common. They run the ball a whole lot, and those are schools that fit within the Big Ten and MAC conference. Just FYI, So
you think it is? Yeah. So I feel like mid round in.
Yeah, it's gonna be a mid round, you know. So again, that number is 248-294-0610. I appreciate the call, Elijah, man. Thanks for calling in. Hey, man, as always.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Dion? I mean, the lineman in the first round.
You know, I don't. Yeah, I think like you said, I think a tight end would, like a really good blocking tight end would definitely help, especially with those edge rushers that everybody's trying to bring in. And you know, you talk about linemen from the Big Ten. Some of those Wisconsin guys are going to fall to like the third round and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And them are some of the guys that they actually went and looked at and they've had meetings with. So yeah, you're right about that. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dion.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they decide to trade back, because now you're adding some of those extra picks. I mean, you're gonna. It's not even like you're losing anything, because if you traded back, now you can add a couple picks. I mean, you could take multiple linemen, but there's just so much. This is such a deep class at a lot of positions. You can definitely get an offensive line later on. There's no really lineman that pops out to me at the number 8 spot. I mean, the only guy would be the man from Florida, and I don't know if you really want to grab an offensive tackle that early.
All right, again, my bad, Andrew. That number is 248-294-0610. That's 248-294-0610. I mean, yeah, to me, there are too many options, in my opinion, for the Lions, you know, in this draft in terms of, and Bob Quinn did a video where he talked about having depth and stuff like that and how he's going to go about his way. So those are the things that you definitely want to look at and do. Again, we are talking to DoseOfDion, fellow YouTuber. His channel is linked in my description, as well as the Gridiron Blitz with Derrick P. Fields, Noble Sports Entertainment with TA, 313 JMO, and our newest member, MicroMike. Please subscribe to their channels and let's talk about it. Now, Willie Kennedy Jr. says, I can't call in because I'm at work. Cool. But says, but what free agent player the Lions sign is a game changer? Oh, that's a really good question, Willie Kennedy. All right. Now, do you want me to go first with this, Dion, or you want it?
You can go first. You got it.
To me, the free agent that they sign that is a game changer, in my opinion, is CJ Anderson. And the reason I'm making him that game changer is because in the past, we would take Carrion out or not get him the ball, and we had to look at LeGarrette Blount. But then the minute we put in Zach Zenner, we was getting production, but Zach Zenner don't try to juke you or nothing. If he going straight, he going straight. It is what it is. With a guy like CJ Anderson, he has that versatility to get in and out of cuts and the cut and the juke and to run you over. So I think he'll be the biggest game changer. Now we got a call coming in. We'll get back to that question.
Okay.
Welcome to Luke G's Field Review. What up, Don? Who is this?
This is Andrew calling in.
What's going on, Andrew? Hold on, let me fix this really quick. Stuff is messing up. All right. What's going on, Andrew? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, my thought is they need to move Terrell Crosby over to the guard position because he had played guard his freshman year in college.
Now, I do know that Bob Quinn said that they're going to get him a shot to try it out at guard. I know they said that. And to me, I just look at it and I say, okay, even if they do turn around and move him there, I think that's even more reason why we're not going to take a lineman in the first round. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. You know, my thoughts are that obviously going to end up trading with probably Miami or the Broncos on their first round pick because they're not going to want to go past the 16th round.
Now, I hadn't thought about the Broncos. Why you say the Broncos?
Because the Broncos, they are looking for a quarterback. Even though they have Joe Flacco, they want something to be past Flacco.
So you're saying you think they may trade up to groom a quarterback?
Yes.
Okay, I never thought about that, to be honest with you. And I think the reason I never thought about the Broncos is because once they took Joe Flacco in that crazy contract, I felt that they was pretty much going to wait until the later rounds to get a quarterback. But I can see your point in terms of saying that, no, they might want to get the best prospect.
I can't remember his name.
Are you talking about Drew Lock?
Yeah, Drew Lock or Will Greer is going to be the ones that they're going to end up going for.
I mean, hey, you won't get no complaints out of me. Now I know that after I dropped my video talking about the quarterbacks that the Lions have visited with, they end up visiting with 2 more. They end up visiting with Drew Lock, and I know that they end up visiting with Mishu from Washington State. So they're trying to put it out there that, you know, hey, you know, we are dead serious about taking a quarterback, even though I don't buy it, and I don't think many other teams do. But some teams is going to buy that. No, they might be serious, you know. So I just don't see the thing happening. But what else you got for us?
If it was a goal for a 3rd and 4th rounder, they'd end up going probably another slot receiver and probably another defensive end.
I think you're right. I think that's where they target those DNs and those receivers. I think that 4th round is where DN receiver and offensive line become an option. But the benefit is we're only a few weeks away from finding out what they're going to do, and that's the best part of it, man. So, you know, definitely want to be able to do.
Everybody knows they need to add depth at defensive end.
Yeah, they definitely need to add depth, but I think they really do like Romeo Ocore. So that's another reason why I don't see DN as a big issue for us. You know, they like this kid a lot. You know what I mean? They really like this kid a lot. Yeah. And I think they like what he brings to the table. So, but you got anything else for us, man? Anything else?
No, that'd be it, man.
Hey, man, appreciate you
just
calling
enjoying
me.
The weather down here in Florida.
Man, listen. You know we in Michigan. Don't be calling up here telling us about no Florida weather, man. We ain't trying to hear about y'all sunny days right now. We might be getting snow in the spring, man. Come on, why you gonna do us like that?
Hey, I was born and raised in Michigan. I've been a Detroit Lions fan all my life.
Hey, man, we just appreciate you calling in, man, and appreciate you spending time with us. Appreciate it, man. Make sure you subscribe to those channels, man. They in my description.
And like I said before, you guys need to get on an actual radio show.
Hey, man, we working on it, man. You got to start small, then aim big, you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Phone lines, I had to clear them twice. Why I got to keep doing this? But the phone lines are now back open, 248-294-0610. Again, that's 248-294-0610. Dion, what are your thoughts about that? I mean, he makes some very good points, but let's go back to the first question. You know, in terms of, man, these phone calls coming in quicker than I can keep up with, Dion. They coming in faster than I thought, man. Let's get. Welcome to Luke G's Fair Review. What up, though? Hey, you gotta mute that. You gotta mute that device you listen to us on.
Is it muted?
Yep, I don't hear anything. Good.
Okay. So I just want to say you guys are amazing, man. Great to have Lions YouTubers. You guys are awesome, dude.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So my first thing is, what are your thoughts on the defensive line? For the Lions, you know, people are always talking about how we need to draft defensive linemen early in the draft. You know, I completely disagree with that. I think that we're set with the end. We have great defensive tackles. I just want to know what your guys' thoughts were on that.
Man, to me, I think that the Lions like where their defensive line at. They want more depth, but I don't. To me, I think their first and their second pick, the Lions want starters, people who can come in and fill holes. And I think that in terms of looking at the D line as a whole, even if you're going to look at New England, they don't carry a lot of D tackles. I mean, they carry about 2 or 3. We already got 2, so at the best, we're going to add 1, but that 1 is already technically on the team and Deshaun Hand. And then you go to the DNs, and you're like, okay, well, yeah, we got Trey Flowers, but then who? Well, yeah, that's where depth come in at. They're not going to – I don't think they're going to go out and jump on a DN unless it's somebody who can come in and be a starter immediately with immediate impact, in my opinion. So I agree with you that I don't see them going the DN route. I just think it doesn't make sense. And to me, that seems like a bit of a reach, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are mocking us that, but this is the benefit of it being a mock draft. It's not real, thank God. Because if Bucky Brooks was drafted for us, we in trouble.
Yeah, because a lot of the mocks have been giving us Montez Sweat, and God, kind of head scratch right there.
Yeah. Every time I hear Montez Sweat, I can't. I just can't. You know, every time somebody bring up Montez Sweat, all you getting is the people who mock draft Montez Sweat. the people who think Montez Sweat about to be the next second coming of Julius Peppers, I'm just trying to knock sense into you. It's up to you to get the picture. You know, to me, Montez Sweat does not show pass rush moves. He tries to run around everybody. That's not going to work in the NFL. I don't care if he ran a 4.2. Even when you watch Jodavian Clowney, I'm sorry, let me go back. Not Jodavian Clowney. What was the guy? Mario Williams. Remember the year he came out with Reggie Bush? He ran the same 40 as Reggie Bush. He was like way bigger. But guess what? He had to learn pass rush moves. And it took him forever. And by the time he learned it, he was already hurt and tired and out the league. It just so yeah, I'm with you in terms of you know, staying away from the mock drafts, man, and them not taking the DN. What else you got for us?
Yeah. So the other thing is that I really love what the Lions are doing this offseason. They really improved their team. But the teams who are playing next season, our opponents are also really tough. If you could possibly do like a rundown of the teams next season and do like a win to loss, you know, try to kind of mock what a record might be next season.
Absolutely. Cool. What I'm waiting on is I'm waiting on them to drop the official schedule, because if I do it now, it's not fair, because I don't know when they play, and when they play is a huge component into a team winning and losing. People don't think about it, but if I had to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast, and if anyone has ever done it, they know that jet lag is real, you know. So, and that was one of the mistakes that the NFL was making with the London game. That's why they get out there a whole week early so they can get used to the time. But yeah, I am going to do a video like that, breaking down the win-loss records and the teams, because, you know, I try to focus on the details and the facts. So yeah, that video is definitely coming.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that.
All right.
What are your thoughts on Devin White? I really love Devin White personally. I really want us to pick him at number 8 if he falls there. But what do you think about him?
Well, Dion, what is your thoughts on? Because I think Dion had a very good point about Devin White earlier. And Dion, what was your thoughts on Devin White?
Yeah, I don't love Devin White. I think Devin White is very similar to the play style of Jared Davis.
Right.
And I think the Lions will be looking more for an outside linebacker type, not necessarily like a guy that's going to sit behind Jared Davis.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want to do that with your first pick.
Dion speaking, I'm not able to hear him.
Yeah. Listen, this technology is bad, man. So I apologize about that. But what he said is he views Devin White as another Jared Davis, and that's not a knock or anything. It's just saying that they're looking. He's saying that he believes that they're looking for somebody more so on the outside, and I agree with him. I think they're looking for somebody who can play outside linebacker / DN that can get them some versatility. When I go through and look at the list of the names of linebackers that they looked at, I gotta be honest, they all fit that bill. They all fit that outside versatility bill. One of my knocks on Devin White is his tackling. I've never seen such poor tackling technique. Okay, you cannot be hitting people that high. That's why that quarterback stiffed arm to the ground like that. You can't be hitting people that high. You just can't. And to me, Devin White is one of those players where if you take him, it's a high boom bust ratio, but he has to be in the most perfect system. We run a hybrid 3-4. He's probably going to be better off in the 4-3. So, you know, all those different things is, you know, are things you got to look at. Now, I want to ask you this, because one of the people, Risky, in the chat put the Lions trade with the Miami Dolphins at 13, pick up Byron Murphy. With their second pick, they take Jalen Ferguson. With their next second pick, they take Chris Lindstrom. With their third pick, they take Khalil Hodge. With their fourth pick, L.J. Scott. With their fifth pick, they take Drew Sample. And then with their last pick, Tyree Jackson. If that happened, how would you feel about that?
I'm sorry. Could you repeat the first 2 picks again?
So he said that they're going to trade with the Miami Dolphins to 13 and take cornerback from Washington, Byron Murphy. And at the Byron Murphy, he says in the second round, they'll take outside linebacker / DN Jalen Ferguson out of Louisiana Tech.
Personally, I think that I'm going to be honest. I haven't seen a lot of film on the cornerbacks, so I don't want to really make a big decision there.
Right. Byron Murphy to me looks like an angry player. I mean, he does everything aggressive. I mean, from coming up to hitting you to playing the ball. I mean, he makes good decisions in choosing to pick the ball or the other person. So yeah. And Fox G, yes, I am going live during the draft. It would be the round table is going live during the draft. So yes, and we will be here taking phone calls, talking about it. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, to me, I think you would like him as a corner. You definitely want to do some research. You know, that's my thing. I always tell people to do the research. You definitely want to do some research and look into the cornerbacks. And look at the players. I did drop the list today for the safeties that they visit. And then before that, I dropped the list for the quarterbacks. And tomorrow's going to probably be an offensive group, more than likely. So just, give me some more stuff. So what else would you want? Hey, Rayleigh, yeah. I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot for subbing, man. So you got anything else for us?
Oh, like questions?
No, yeah, you got any more questions?
Oh, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Man, I appreciate you calling in, man. Hey, Dion, you know what's interesting about this is the people love being able to, call in and talk about it and have good dialogue. And one of the things that I've noticed with the fan base is the people who are truly paying attention to each move, they have a healthy respect for it. Like right now, Crimson Shadow is asking the question, how do you feel about Mac Wilson? Oh, there go another call. Dion, you there?
Oh yeah, I'm there. My bad. I didn't know if you were asking me the question.
No, yeah. How do you feel about Mac Wilson?
I think that could be definitely a pick for the Lions. They can definitely use the linebacker.
Right.
But again, he has to be able to play on the outside. And definitely versatile guys with the Lions.
Does Luke Tiso?
All right. We got another caller on the phone. What up, though? Welcome to Luke G's Field Review. What up, though? And who is this?
This is 810 and 614. This is Bill.
What up, though?
Not much, man. My question is, I heard you guys talking about trading back.
Okay.
What about trading with Atlanta? I know they lost their running back, Coleman. Trade Theo Riddick and our pick for their pick and get a second-round pick.
So we trading Theo Riddick and our pick at 8, and all we getting from them is to pick 14 in a second?
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't
their pick and a second round.
Yeah, that wouldn't be enough. They owe us some more. You got to think You got to think we're moving back 6 spots. So you figure if you're moving back, our pick right now is worth about 1,400 points, and their pick is probably around I want to say 750. I'm drawing a blank on it, but I know Risky gonna correct it for me because Risky is using the same system I have, and I don't have it out right now. But there's a point value to it, so they will end up on us more than just those 2 picks. So if they want to move up, they're gonna, and it's a premium to moving up into the top 10. On top of that, so not only do our pick not become 1,400 point value, it's a premium to being in the top 10 because you're technically not in the top 10. So if they want to move up into the top 10, for us to move out of the top 10, we're going to get a whole lot more than just a first and a second for Theo Riddick.
Right.
Really? I mean, I would want more. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying I thought that was most time they want to give up a third in their pick or something like that.
Nah, they gonna have to come out some stuff. We gonna walk away with something. I promise you. There's here's the thing. The thing is, the value of it is this: the Detroit Lions 8th pick would not hold so much value if one person did not enter the draft, and that's Kyler Murray. When Kyler Murray entered the draft, he shifted everything. And that's why I was so excited and did a video about it, because I was like, yo, Kyler Murray just fixed all our problems.
Right, I agree with you on that.
He made that pick more valuable. And so what you're going to see is those people who want to move up into the top 10, because they never thought their quarterback was going to be there because of Kyler Murray now and had Hubert from Oregon joined in, we'd have even had more value on that 8th pick. So yeah, they would have to pay us more than just their first and their second. They're going to have to come off something that we might have even been able to get a future pick that could be conditional for like the first round. So if they was willing to give us their first this year, they second this year, and then turn around and give us, say, they first for next year, would I do it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would do it. But you think I'll give us that much to move up?
Oh yeah, you got 8? Man. Listen. Look what the Rams gave up to move up 1 spot. To move up 1 spot. You know what I mean? Just go back and look at the history of trades and look what they've traded to move up. It it just wouldn't be enough. You know what I mean? Like, so they would have to come out with a little bit more than just, you know, a first and a second. I think like I said, Risky, I'm pretty sure he gonna look it up and tell me, but they would have to come out more than that. It's no way.
Wow, I didn't know it was that much that you had to give up, because I was reading something, and I was hearing like if you trade up, you'll get your swap pick, and then a third round pick or something like that. I was hoping, and that's why I was throwing in Theo, because I'm thinking they might use Theo as another part of a trade bait to get more picks. So,
yeah, nah, they holding on to Theo because what they're trying to do is they want to get another running back. Don't get it confused. They want to get another running back, but they want to get a running back with speed and versatility. You know, somebody who can still catch off the backfield, but who know how to run between the tackles. And right now, sorry about that.
I'm listening.
Sorry about that. Right now, what you're seeing is a lot of those teams are not able to run between the tackles and stuff like that. Like Derrick is not doing it, and that's where the problem is coming in at. So I see, and plus you got to look at the only way Derrick can stand on this team is if he take a pay cut. Right now, if they cut him, that's almost $5 million they get back in return.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
I was wondering why he's been cut already. But
well, they're waiting. They're waiting because they want to try to use him as part of a trade, and they're trying to wait to see if they can get the running back that they really want. So that's what it is. Just like the same thing with, like, I know a lot of people was wondering what took them so long to get rid of Nev Lawson. I was like, they had to make sure that they had agreements with other free agents, and when they came up to those agreements, or at least started the conversation with them, they moved on from them. So, you know, that's how that works.
All right, I got you. That's why I like listening to your show, man.
Man, hey, I appreciate the call in, man, and call back anytime. I am going live at 8 p.m. with the roundtable, so you'll be able to talk to the Gridiron, Blitz, Derrick P, and you'll be able to talk to Noble Sports Entertainment, TA, and 313 J-Mo. So this right here is just me and Dion. We had already worked, talked about collaborating, and so it's gonna come a time where I'm gonna be on Dion's channel and collaborate with him as well. So definitely subscribe.
All right, I'll be looking for it.
Appreciate it. I mean, Dion, what's your thoughts? I mean, you think that's enough? A first round pick, a second, and then we give him Derrick in our first?
No, I don't think that's enough. You would have, the number 8 pick is so valuable. There's so many great players that, like, 6 spots. There's so many great players that go between there. It's going to take a lot to move up. I don't know, maybe next year's first. I mean, maybe the second and a fourth, maybe like a 7th or something like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I see Lions fan 75 say, are they looking at any backs? They are. That list is coming real soon. We got us another call, Dion. They coming in, man.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Luke G's Fear Review. What up, though? Who this?
It's Richard.
Richard, what's going on, man?
Not much.
What you got for us, Rich?
All right. So we've been talking about trading back, but there's one team that we really haven't talked about. And that's trading back to the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
They do carry 3 selections in the first round. And from what I've been hearing, they don't know if Derrick Carr is their guy.
Okay.
They've been bringing in Dwayne Haskins. So why not trade back to them, get their later first 2 picks in the first round, and we go after a tight end, possibly Caden Smith with the second one, and then maybe go Jeffrey Simmons with that other pick.
Definitely. I think what you're saying is this. I think one, after watching probably way too many Bob Quinn interviews, but after watching too many Bob Quinn interviews, I don't think he want to drop that far. You know, he said repeatedly a few times, I want to move down a couple spots. The key word was a couple of spots. Yeah. I mean, how far is a couple? I mean, they don't pick it till what, 24 and I think 27. And if they pick in 24 and 27 to move up, to give up those 2 picks to move up to 8, they're gonna have to put some more stuff in the pot. You got to understand that 8th pick is a valuable pick. Now you talking about what it's going to take to move up from 6 spops. What is it going to take to move up from 24 to 8? You know what I mean? So the question becomes: are they willing to mortgage that? And then they're even trying to claim that they're willing to trade back, which we know is not true because they want to get another pass rusher. So it's going to probably be Allen, in my opinion. So those are the things that I don't think people are looking at. But I think when it comes to the Raiders, I don't think they'll be willing to pay the price that they will want. And to me, that price should be around like both those first, a second, and maybe a fifth. And we give y'all like a sixth and a seven, and you take our first. And I might be able to say, yeah, okay, cool. More picks in the first. I'll take that. But if you just look at what happened last year and what Buffalo had to give up just to move up to get Allen, yeah, that 8th pick is real valuable. So for those people who said tank, thank God that the Lions didn't listen to you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that suggestion out there, just things I've been hearing.
Right. What else you got for us?
So, also, if we don't trade back with them, I do like the trade with the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay.
And trading them Theo Riddick, as that other strongman said.
Right.
But I believe we could get to possibly a third and a fifth with that as well, just due to the fact Theo Riddick just brings so much to the table. Being able to play the backfield, catch passes, as well as possibly you can put him in the slot in situations like that.
I think if the Lions got a first, a second, a third, and a fifth, they will certainly do it. You're talking 4 picks for 1 pick and a player. I mean, yeah, I can see that happening, but I think ultimately, as Lions Roar says, if Quinn Williams fall at 8, I don't think they moving. Josh Allen fall at 8, they're not moving. So
they ain't gonna move at all for them.
Yeah, so I think that's what you're looking at. But I mean, overall, I do see those being possibilities. I think you make a very good point. I'm even seeing some comments in there, Andrew, who says, what about the Broncos offering a trade first-round pick and Von Miller for our first-round pick and the 3rd pick? What is your take on that, Luke? I mean, Von Miller's contract is going to mess us up. That's the only problem. It's his contract. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he just got paid, a year ago? So he's still well off into his contract. I don't think they would trade Von Miller.
No. So they ain't trading them.
Yeah. I don't think that would happen. But it would be cool if they did, wouldn't it? So but you got anything else for us, man? Because we got some calls coming in. So
my last thing, what do you guys feel about DeAndre Baker out of Georgia?
I love DeAndre Baker out of Georgia. I love him. I think he's a very good prospect. The only thing I don't like about DeAndre Baker is he has a tendency to grab the moment he gets beat. And in terms of press coverage, I wouldn't put him in that situation. I feel like if in press coverage, he's gonna get into some issues and some problems.
All righty.
All right, man. I appreciate the call. I mean, Dion, what do you think? You think that man, they calls coming in fast, Dion. This is crazy. All right. I mean, but do you think that they should go and look at the look into trading with the Falcons? Caller, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I could definitely start trading with the Falcons, but like you said, they have to give up a lot in return. But if the deal's right, I have no problem trading back.
Right. I mean, like I said, I can see it too. All right, so we got another call in here, Dion. Let's get to it. Welcome to Luke G's Fair Review. What up, though? Who this?
What up? It's Crimson.
Crimson, what's going on, man?
I know, a little here, a little there. I love to hear your show. I was riding home from work, man. Man, you came out early.
Well, you know what? Listen, the thing is, we're going to still do the roundtable tonight at 8, and basically this just happened to be the schedule that me and Dion can get on and do it. So we're literally, when we get off in about a few, I'm gonna reset everything, and we're gonna get ready for the roundtable, which is going to be on my channel as well. So that's why we're on a little bit earlier.
Cool. But I had a scenario in my head. What if we didn't have TJ Hockenson at first? What if we lost him, and say we didn't have Khalil Hayes? I mean, he'd be there, but say realistically, who would you take other than TJ Hockenson for first? Because I don't think I've heard you say what would be your alternative.
The alternative for me has been Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy?
Yep, it's been
Byron Murphy.
Would you
go a cornerback in the first round?
Well, here's the thing. I generally wouldn't, but the alternative has always been either Devin White or Byron Murphy. And in my case, I think Devin White's going to get picked up probably more than likely by the Buccaneers. But in my opinion, I think that if Byron Murphy's there, you have to take him because he fits the 5 traits that Bob Quinn talks about, that being competitiveness, that passion, the high football IQ, the aggression. He fits all those things, and he's got that versatility. So for me, it would be Byron Murphy. And then if Byron Murphy is not there at that point, now you then go into looking at the pass rushers at that point. But for me, I don't think we get to the third step, because I think either it's going to be linebacker, and then I think that they're going to trade down. If they trade down, I think it's going to probably be a look at a safety, because they've looked at some very interesting safeties with bad attitudes.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I really don't want a safety this draft, because we already have a pretty strong safety core as is, and we have other problems that we kind of need to be filled. I wouldn't go high on a safety. I mean, if I take a safety in the later round, sure.
Okay.
But
I think what they're doing is they're trying to get an insurance policy in case Tracy Walker don't work it out. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. But you still got Diggs out there and Tavon Wilson.
Yeah, but see, Tavon Wilson, I barely want him on the team. And in order for him to stay on the team, he had to take a pay cut. You realize he went from making $6 million a year to $1 million.
Yeah.
so they're letting them know, like, hey, we're not feeling what you're doing so far. It's not enough.
Fair enough there. I mean, are you ever really worried that Byron Murphy might have injury problems with him wanting to take so much heat? Because guys that usually are that physical tend to really want to hurt themselves. You know what I mean? I was reading a comment about that.
I mean, he one of the things I like about him is he's strategic with it. You know what I mean? It's not like he's going out there just giving his whole self up. He's strategic on it. He's taking the hits that are needed when they count. If he's not there for the hit when it needs to be here, he's not going to do it. But if it's there, he's taking it.
Fair there. So he's not like Greedy Williams, where he's not gonna hit him at all. And Greedy,
listen. Greedy gonna lay a blanket down for you, and a picnic basket. He's gonna serve you a nice bottle of wine. That's probably from the year 1920, and then as you run right past him, knocking out all over, he's gonna just wait a few minutes and say, "You know what? I had a leg cramp." I don't see the aggression in the guy. I don't. Greedy Williams doesn't have it.
I look at Greedy Williams like I look at Montez Sweat. I don't get it. Is what I.
You know what? Again, there are some people who are just workout warriors, and being a workout warrior is not enough for me. The film got to.
Yeah, I mean, some people could say that about Tyree Jackson, even though the only QB I honestly got with the only one I think we could get is Tyree Jackson. Tyree Jackson would pretty much be the most complete one. He's not plug and play, but he'd be a decent enough backup for Stafford and a good guy to train under.
Well, again, I don't think we're going to get him, because I think there's going to be some serious attention to him at this point. So I would be surprised if we got him. I really would.
But all the teams that need quarterbacks are, they're going to be aiming at Haskins, Locker. Yeah, absolutely. And I think even Will Grease is going to have a little more Greer's. He's going to have a lot more attention than Tyree Jackson.
Right, and I agree. Even the Lions is looking at Minshew as well. I think he'd be another good backup. But you got anything else for us?
I'll let everyone else get a call. You know me.
Hey, now listen, Crimson, I did get your email, man. And what I'm going to do is I'm working it all out. I'm going to hit you right back, and we're going to set it up. And, me and Crimson are going to be on here talking some football.
Man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in. All right, ladies.
All right, peace, my man.
Hey, as always. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close the phone lines really quick for right now, so we can finish the rest of our conversation, and I can get ready for the round table. Dion, apparently people calling in, man, they got a lot of questions. What are your thoughts on some of this? I mean, we're hearing Greedy Williams. Mm-hmm. We're hearing, what about, taking a trade with the Falcons? What are your thoughts on Greedy Williams, in your opinion?
Okay, so I think Greedy Williams is he definitely has like a eye for the ball, but I don't think it's a guy that Bob Quinn is going to want, because, like you said, he's not much of a tackler. I think they want more physical guys out there. And I think one guy that I really like is the guy from Chris Boyd from Texas, the cornerback. I think that guy is a big hitter, and he's someone that could fall a little bit in the draft to definitely move around.
Okay. Now, I did watch film on Chris Boyd, and I like his game. I think the only knock I had on him was, I've seen a few plays where the receiver bodied him and just pushed him. So, right. That's what I saw.
Okay. And then, when they brought up Tyree Jackson, I love Tyree Jackson, but it seems like he's getting a lot of talk recently, and I don't know how willing the Lions are to go very early to get a backup quarterback. And then,
right. Right, and I totally get it, man. You know, I mean, but again, like I said, I don't want to keep us on too long, man. I am excited that we did this. I'm pretty sure we're gonna do it again. As you can see, the people really enjoyed it. I mean, even the haters, they came out to show us love too. So, you know, I obviously, you know, there's some things being done right here, so we got to appreciate that. You got anything that you want to say in terms of those final words?
No, not really. Just thanks for having me, Luke G. Everybody in the chat, it's been awesome, and we'll definitely have to do this again.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, man. I want people to understand, man. Like I said, I've seen you out there grinding, you pumping those videos out. You know, that I think that's awesome. I certainly can't do that. You know, I can't. I got too much going on. But I see you pumping those videos out, and one of the things that I do appreciate, even when you put out something that can't be verified, you're willing to be like, okay, let me get this down because this can't be verified. You know, and those are the things that we want to have. So when we reporting on Detroit Lions, that people can know that okay, we're not just putting stuff out there. And to me, I think that's the benefit of it. Now, Risky is saying that the Lions signed Tom Savage.
Yeah,
I got to check that out. If the Lions did sign Tom Savage again, that would make sense because the only two quarterbacks they had on roster was Matthew Stafford and Connor Cook. So again, a camp body. Tell me what the contract is, Risky, and we can talk about it. But outside of that, that's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. I am getting ready to reset and restart so we can go live for the roundtable, and from there we will pick it up. So that's it for now. Please make sure you subscribe to Dose of Dion. His channel is linked in my description, as well as the Gridiron Blitz with Derrick P. Fields, Noble Sports Entertainment with TA, J-Mo, which is also known as 313 J-Mo. Check out his channel, and our newest Detroit Lions sports talk person, MicroMike. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. As always, until about, say, 20-something minutes, don't be no chump, and please do your research. We out.